It was free. It was independent from the state. But in reality, what it was, there was something called a press trust. And the press trust was something which the Nazis created. And the objective of the press trust was what? The press trust was designed so that the Nazis could actually in place or put certain stories that they wanted for their own agenda. And then it was the job of whom? It was the job of the media to spin them stories and to report it, to show to the people that they're actually independent, but in reality, they were coherent to what the Nazis were saying. Now, when the British saw this, the British then established what we call the Tavistock Reeves, which was a centre in London in 1921 after the aftermath of the First World War I. And this was a mass media propagation or propaganda centre. And the objective of this centre was one, mass psychological warfare. It was mass media propagation to propagate people why war is acceptable. Because media has a great has an immense thing to do with this. Now there was a gentleman, and I want to finish off with what he said. There was a man called Walter Lippmann. And Walter Lippmann, he wrote a book called Public Opinion. You can all download this book. And he mentions in his introduction chapter something quite profound and very interesting and scary at the same time. He said, and I'll summarize, I'm not going to go word by word. He says that society at large as individuals, we have pictures in our head. And he says that these pictures are pictures of our families, our friends and our colleagues. And when we start to share those pictures with our friends and our colleagues, and when everyone has the same picture, it then forms public opinion. So Lippmann says what we need to do is control the media. So what we need to do is control what people see, what people read, what people hear, and everything. If we control these instruments in regards to the way people think, the way people speak, we then control the way people think. And this was one of the ways of propagating war to the world, was one, to propagate that the people who were perpetrating, let's say, terrorism or evilness, were people who were against our civil liberties, were people who were against freedom. And what that actually did then was it legitimized the governments to go and attack certain countries. And we saw that. We see it in Iraq. We saw in Iraq, we were told by our foreign minister and Blair that Saddam Hussein, or the late Saddam Hussein, had the capability of launching a nuclear attack on the UK in 45 minutes. Mass media indoctrination to the public, to portray to the public that this is the reality that's taking place in our country. Another example I'll give to you, Pakistan. In Pakistan, we've got what we call the SWAT war now. This so-called American war happening in Pakistan, which has nothing to do with terrorism really. And truthfully, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if you look at what did the Pakistani media do? Immediately the Pakistani media in their press, in what format? In radio, in television, in newspapers, in every format. Immediately the Pakistani media said, what? These are terrorists. These are Al-Qaeda. These are Taliban people. These are people who are killing people. And immediately public opinion changed. It changed public opinion to what? To legitimize and say, you can kill people now. It's good to do that. And we are seeing the effects of that. Just yesterday we saw a bomb in Peshawar. 89 people were killed. So this is the reality we face ourselves, brothers and sisters. And I want to conclude on a few things which I feel is important. How do we galvanize the people to do something? We come from England, we come to Malaysia, to this fantastic concept of criminalization of war, then we all go back home and we do our own things. You have a responsibility, brothers and sisters. You have a responsibility to support and to work towards the criminalization of war. Now, I'll quote you a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said in the hadith, which means, he said, my ummah, my nation, is one body. My ummah, my nation is one body. If one part of that body feels the pain, the whole body should. If one part of the body is injured or feels a small pain, the entire body should feel that pain. It is by consensus amongst the classical Imams of Islam that when he said my ummah, he was not referring just to the Muslims here. He was referring to the whole of humanity here, to the human family. So when the humans are being suffering, or people are suffering in Pakistan, or in Iraq, in Palestine, you have to ask the question, do you feel their pain? When you see these pictures on top of you, when we go through that exhibition, you have to ask the question to yourself, brothers and sisters, do you feel that pain? You have to ask yourself, I'm sitting in this auditorium, I'm listening to the speakers, do I feel the pain of Palestine? Do I feel the pain of innocent people who are dying around the world? Do I feel the pain of hunger? Do I feel the pain of thirst? You have to ask this question to yourself. And then you have to ask the question, what am I going to do to change it? That's the question. How am I going to empower myself? It's not good enough to say, oh, this is all bad, and America's attacking Iraq, and you know, I'm an Iraqi, I'm a Pakistani, I'm a Saudi, I'm from this country, and America's done this to my country. The question then is, you're complaining. You have the right to complain. Nobody's going to deny that complaining. But what are you going to do to change that? You young Muslims here, you young people here, you are the power, you are the future. You need to start doing change. You need to start doing things to change. You need to start having lobby groups. You put a lobby group together. You need to start having petitions. Get as many people to sign up to this concept of criminalization war. You need to go to universities. You need to lobby people. Get the students involved. You need to go to the masjid. And you need to tell the masjid that we want change. We want to talk about these issues that are affecting the Muslims. Because these issues, brothers and sisters, they may be affecting us today, but I swear by Allah, tomorrow they will affect everyone on this planet. You need to do something about it. You need to arise and come to the God-given right that God gave you. That responsibility of being human beings and standing with all human beings and saying to people, irrespective whether they're America or England or anywhere in the world, that violence is wrong. We're against violence. We want to live in a world that has no violence. Violence has no place in our dictionary. Nobody has the right to dictate to anyone the way they should live. Nobody has the right to say to a Christian, you should worship this way. Or to an Iraqi, you can't do this. Nobody has the right to interfere with Iraq. Nobody has the right to interfere with Sudan or Pakistan. You interfere with your own problems in your own country. And that is what we need. We need to have this respect. That is what the American tried to do. He tried to seek enlightenment, but when he went, what was it? He was narrow-minded. I'm not saying Americans are all narrow-minded, they're beautiful, because Cynthia, for God's sake, she was saying to me earlier on, she was saying, one person said to her that, I'm going to come to the US when you are the president. I said, she is the president for us. She is our president, Cynthia. We have to salute people like that. Really, brothers and sisters. And I'm concluding. I've got 5 minutes left according to my record. 3. I'm going to take 5 anyway because everyone else went over their time. No disrespect to you, moderator. We have to salute these people, brothers and sisters. Because Iraq is a Muslim country. Palestine is a Muslim country. Bosnia is a Muslim country. Kashmir is a Muslim country. But who is standing for Palestine? George Galloway? Who is standing for Palestine? You have to ask these questions to yourself. You've got people like Cynthia standing. So the question to you, brothers and sisters, you've got people like Matthias Chang. I mean, what the hell has Matthias got with Palestine? Really? Or Iraq? We have to, and it's a serious question, but we have to answer all of these questions, and we come to a conclusion. What? We as Muslims have failed. We as a Muslim Ummah have failed to live up to our responsibility. We complain about everything, but we don't do anything about it. So my question to you now, and I have not been told to do this today for the Padana Leadership Foundation, so the Padana Global Peace Organization, or the Criminalization Foundation. My question to you, brothers and sisters, today, I'm not interested in complaining. I'm not interested in talking and saying, this is wrong. My question to you, I want you to put your hands up to confirm this. How many of you are going to sign up to this organization and give your time? How many people are going to sign up and say, I'm going to volunteer 2 hours a week. I'm going to go to the universities. I'm going to lobby people. I'm going to give leaflets out. I'm going to do demonstrations. I'm going to do peaceful things. I'm going to start writing letters to our prime ministers, to our MPs. I'm going to start doing things. How many? There's only a few. I want all of you to make more commitment. Sign up to this concept. This is not Dr. Mahathir's concept. This is not Dennis Halliday's concept. This is not my concept.